There's a question from Suresh Raina, a common friend, who says, Sania, we are both young parents. Sania Mirza, how are you dealing with Izan at these times? In fact, just before the show began, Izan was trying to come into the frame, and I was encouraging him to do that. To keep them cheerful is a very important task of each parent at these times. You've got a 17-month-old. How are you dealing with him?
Yeah, it's not easy, I have to say. I mean, he has been, I've noticed in the last few days, he's been getting a lot more crankier. Because, I mean, it must be getting to him too, not being able to work, because he is sensing. I mean, I think we underestimate how much kids understand, even kids that young. I think he is sensing a certain, like, disorientation of what's going on. He's like, why am I not leaving the house? It's been over a month, he's not left home. So I think that it's challenging for sure, Suresh. And you have two of them now, so I think that it is very, very challenging. It's tough enough with one, and I think that we just got to try and keep them positive. I mean, I think the one thing that I'm trying to follow is not put him in a routine, because the minute you put them in a routine, they get bored at that age. So that's one thing that I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to keep it different every day, whether putting him in, a small pool one of the days, or one of the days I'm just like taking him. Thankfully, I've got a tennis court at home, so I can put him on the tennis court and he just kind of runs around. We've got a bit of a garden area, so just trying to keep it different.
Another question. There are lots of questions now coming in, Sania, for you. I'll take one from Rajdeep, our colleague. Rajdeep asks, how does she see future of live sport in a post-COVID world?
I definitely think it's going to be a little different. I don't know how different, but I do think that in general, life is going to change. I think that we are all going to be really wary of each other. It's already changed, right? You meet people, you don't shake hands, you don't really hug. I mean, those are the people that you wouldn't even think before just putting a hand on their shoulder, but you don't do that anymore. And I do think that live sport is going to change as well. There's a lot of thought process that's going to go into it, but I do think that it's not going to be the same for a while.
My answer to that is slightly different. I agree with you, but I think it's a temporary phenomenon of a year or maybe 18 months.
I hope so.
Because from what I've read around the world, the vaccine will come. And based on the research that I've read, sooner than later, maybe 12, maybe 18, the vaccine will come. And my understanding is sport will actually come back stronger. The virtual consumption of sport in the interim will be stronger because we are all starved. So when the vaccine comes and we have a post-corona world, it'll be something that this world will look at as a world's coming.
I mean, the thing is that we've gone through a similar scenario, almost 100 years ago, right? Or over 100 years ago. And life did come back to being normal, I guess. But I think that eventually, yeah, I think we're going to, and I really hope you're right. And I do think that we're all going to come back to living normal lives. And this is going to be in the past, and, there'll be a vaccine and there'll be a cure for it. So, hopefully we'll all be okay. But I think that it's going to take some time, though. It's going to take some time for live sport or sport in general to just kind of get that momentum again and get back to where it was.
I agree. I don't have too much time left. My last 5 minutes on the show, Sania. One, and this is something I want to ask. I mean, when you see sport return, whenever that is, maybe 6 months down the line, maybe 9 months down the line, I was reading this report from FIFA that we have to bring sport back and make it far more inclusive, because the responsibility that sport will now have to reach out to the masses, to make a difference to the masses, maybe not the breakdown, that pay gap between a Roger Federer and the last man down. Do you see sport changing, people introspecting, making a difference to society?
Most definitely. I think that everything will change. And I think that, like I said in my first answer of this interview, I said that perspective has changed of life. I don't think any of us ever dreamt that we would be living these days where we would be in a house and not be able to travel. I mean, I've been traveling since I was 12 years old. I don't remember the last time that I stayed in my house for 5 weeks without going, at least for a day somewhere. And taking a flight has become, something that you're going to think about a couple of times before you do it. And I think definitely it's going to change. I definitely think that people are going to introspect. I mean, WTA and ATP for the first time have come together in something called Tennis United, which is a program that they're doing together. That already is a step forward, where as a community we're coming together. We're not coming together as two separate federations, two separate associations. We're coming together to men and women are coming together. So I think that it's definitely going to change, and I do really hope that they are going to sort of think about the journeymen, so to say, and it's not, the sport doesn't only protect or sort of help people who are right at the top. Hopefully people who play a decent level of sport as well, which is, even if they are 200 or 300 in the world, I think that they deserve to be, okay when something like this happens.